In today's video, we are going to talk about the future of the PTU, and as we're going to see here, things have changed a little bit. Is it for the better? That's not really what I was hoping for. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, it's Erad, and so it seems that there's going to be a PTU wave restructure here. The goal, according to CAG, is to sharpen the tools. Now, we all know that Star Citizen of a 3.18 PTU wasn't much of a success. A lot of people tried new features and then moved on, resulting in less people than expected trying the PTU and resulting in the botched launch that we saw. And this is something that Cloud Imperium Games are hoping to avoid again in the future, and that's why they've decided to restructure the waves of the PTU. Now, I have given some solutions here. Every time I try to criticize, I always try to bring also some constructive criticism too. And what I did back then was to, instead of, for example, rewarding a bunch of few players based on maybe because they played the most or they were the most dedicated, instead rewarding them with in-game money. I think that this could be a very good way here to encourage or at least entice players to try the PTU more. No, that's not what's going to happen here. It seems that once again they are going to be rewarding the most active players, meaning that basically those who have the most time. That's basically what it is. And also, they are going to have the first waves into a paywall. And this one, if you thought that the previous one was steep to get into wave 1, wait until you see how much of a paywall there is to get into wave 1, starting from Star Citizen Alpha 3.20. So this is what Chris Wayne Schmidt here has to say on Spectrum. As you all may know, one of the most impactful development resources they have right now is the direct feedback coming from all of us. This includes the player behavior data they receive from the latest builds in the PTU, Public Test Universe. Whether it's pushing the servers to their limits on their heavy load, or luring bugs out of hiding, to putting a new feature through its paces in focused test cases, we are apparently an essential part of the process. The PTU is a replica environment of all of the necessary components that makes the universe work. In this environment, where both community members and Cloud Imperium staff alike test and hone their release candidates, access to the PTU has historically been granted in waves to control the numbers of players in the environment based on testing needs. More often than not, a new feature or build will benefit from a gradual increase in concurrency rather than a floodgate of traffic. This allows them to monitor at varying degrees of scale to ensure that once content makes it into the verse, it will be performant. For the last 4 years, they haven't changed the PTU wave system, which regulates who has access to the test servers and when. Over time, more and more players have gained access to various waves, which has ultimately led them away from the initial goal with tasting waves. They have also come to notice that many players only log in once per PTU phase to briefly inspect the latest features or new ships before waiting for the live releases. This led to very high player loads on the first hours of each wave release, combined with comparatively high server costs and download provisioning, but not the sustained play tasting they would have preferred. As a consequence, toward the end of the PTU phase, they sometimes lacked the necessary numbers of testers to put the servers under pressure once the most significant bugs had been fixed. For this reason, the team had decided to restructure the PTU waves to focus on player activity. Now, the more often we play, the more experienced and familiar we get with the game and its mechanics, the earlier they will invite us to the PTU. To support this and the players who would like to have access to the PTU, they will review the activity-based wave allocation several times a year to ensure that they have the most active testers within the first waves. So if we have been following development more from the sidelines recently, well, we should not worry. However, we should hop back into the pilot seat, as future activity would lead to earlier PTU access in a relatively short time. Naturally, they also want to continue to open the door to everyone who has supported them. For this reason, they will continue to accommodate subscribers and also various concierge levels throughout the new Wave program. As you can see, it's going to change a little bit. So they are looking forward to this new approach, as together they will gain more data from the PTU faces and as a result a better experience on the live servers in the long run. So here are the new waves from the PTU. Now we used to have 3 waves, now we have 5 waves, plus of course at the beginning Evocati, which are the hand-selected players that are under non-disclosure agreement or NDA. These are the very experienced volunteers testers chosen based on the long-term provision of constructive feedback, quality and quantity of bug reports and overall activity. Next, Wave 1. These are the top players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles, the subscribers and the Legatus Navium concierge level backers. So these are, in the past, these were just the concierge backers, so we just had to go through a paywall of $1,000, which was already quite a bit, of course, and a lot of people were already complaining about that. Well, it seems like players are going to be complaining even more because this has changed quite a bit indeed, and now that is the level for basically $25,000. It's absolutely insane, I guess that they really want to have the most dedicated players there, because as I'm pretty sure that over the past 10 years now, lots of players have reached $1,000, but very few have reached $25,000, obviously, and very few will ever do so. Wave 2 here, these are the next top active players rated by hours in previous 2 major patch cycles, as well as Praetorian concierge level backers. And so Wave 2 here, you have access to it if you spend $15,000. Wave 3 here, these are the next top active players rated by hours over the past 2 patches, right? And here these are the Wing Commander, Space Marshal, and Grunt Admiral concierge level backers. So you'll have access to Wave 3 now if you spend $2,500. Wave 4 here, the next top active players, and these are the High Admiral concierge level backers if you spent $1,000, and so Wave 5 are all backers with an active game package. So there we have it, guys. This is how they are going to reshape the PTU. Apparently this is going to be starting with Star Citizen Alpha 3.20, it seems. So if you were a regular concierge like myself, for example, don't expect to be invited as soon as it's out. It's not going to be the case. You are only going to have to be a subscriber. So I guess there you go, right? There's your paywall. Or if you have time, you don't have a job, you don't have a family, maybe you'll be able to get into Wave 1 if you're a very active player or if you spent $25,000. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. I'm very curious about, what you guys think about these new thresholds. I think they are outrageous. I think that the paywall here is way too high, and it's really not fair for those who either don't have enough time to play as much as they want, like myself, for example, or those who don't have enough money. They don't have enough money to spend $25,000. They don't have enough money to spend $100 a year on being a subscriber, which sometimes is just not worth the money. Being a subscriber is not supposed to be for having access to the PTU. Being a subscriber is supposed to be for supporting, sponsoring the community content like Inside Star Citizen, for example. So I think that this is kind of a corrupted way of using subscription money, in my opinion, but maybe you guys think otherwise. If so, let me know in the comment section down below. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Dr. Falbin, Zeo Crusher, and Deplorable Infidel for making this video possible, and all the people on Patreon and the YouTube membership program as well. Guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. It's been Erad. Cheers.